future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Larry Exercise Show. Look up, open your eyes. Guess who's in town? I can do that because I'm Mississippi, and I don't have to do the English language the way you have been taught in school. I can butcher it up, play around with it, and guess what? It's accepted from my country. Anyway, thank you, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Carolyn for doing such a good job holding down the fort when I was out of town, and for getting these wonderful guests we have here today. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. I had on a strong face for them, so they'll think I'm a serious person. Oh boy, they're going to find out that's not true. Anyway, I love the emails I got. I love it, and some of you guys have been absolutely wonderful. And I say some of you guys because those of you know you have been bad to me. You've been bad to you, boy. You've been bad. Anyway, back to the unemotional thing here. Oh, but before we go, my prayers and go out to the Egyptian flight that went down. And I've taken that Egyptian flight. This has been to Egypt, and in certain travels and stuff, we've taken these flights, and I mean, it's very, very fascinating. It's a frightening thing, and which really brings us to the question when we're picking and doing this election, we're talking about picking the president of the United States, and now it's very clear that we need someone that is strong in international affairs and global affairs, and not only domestic affairs that we have to be concerned with. And during this election, I'm not going to get into the politics too strong here today, but I think what we're going to talk about with the guests here today is going to tie in this political thing. And I don't know that I get this feeling that we're going to get to talk about that. But like I say on all my shows, go vote. Vote locally, vote city, town, state, county, vote for the butterfly catcher, the dog catcher, vote for the guy that's going to sell new tissue in the house. If he's up for election, vote. Get out and vote. Don't just vote for presidential, because whether we get the presidency or not, the House and the Senate is very important too. And from local government, mayors, and as we saw in Ohio, when the prosecutor didn't prosecute the cops that murdered that young kid, he got voted out. So the voting locally is just sometimes more important than voting for the presidency. We just have it a little bit backwards sometimes. And I want to say to my Bernie Sanders followers, supporters, man, guys, chill out. I mean, chill out. Come on, you're acting like Trump, the very guy that you want to defeat. You're coming in acting like him. You're acting like the Trump supporters. I mean, geez, let's bring this thing together. I think Bernie has done a magnificent job of pulling people together. I just so applaud him for what he's done. But I am now on this thing trying to figure out how America has fallen from reality. We are now functioning in a world of fantasy. We are living in fantasy. We are voting in fantasy. We are like fantasy TV. I like fantasy too. Don't get me wrong. I am living in a fantasy in my own world, but that's when I close my eyes and I'm at home by myself. Not when I'm in the car driving down the freeway. But the thing about it is, I tell Bernie Sanders supporters, do the math. Just do the math. Don't let anybody just do the math. And if math don't bring you into reality, marijuana is legal. So go ahead and try some of that. Okay. Anyway, hey, look here. I'm trying to help you guys out, but we got to come together. We got to get on the same page here because a Trump presidency. I mean, come on, guys. Think what has happened to this country that well I don't have to ask what happened. It's just some of my white American friends, you know who you are. You guys are just learning about what has been bubbling underneath the Republican Party for many years that, and I'm going to say it bluntly, black people have seen this our whole life and before. But this is what is happening, and it's getting scary. It's getting dangerous. I talked to you guys last time. I was in Vienna, Austria for a while, and then I was in Frankfurt, Germany. And when you're out of the country, you have people that really can't figure out what the heck is going on with American politics. I mean, and believe it or not, for those of you that don't travel, it affects us around the world who become president of the United States. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to introduce this guest. What I am seeing, and I know the Republican side and then the Bernie Sanders group, a lot of this is against women power. You hear me, folks? Read between the lines, listen with the third ear, and watch with a third eye. This is about people not wanting to see women in power. And this is sad to see that we have an opportunity to break the glass ceiling for women to come up into power, rise up in power, and here it is. We have the Republicans that are chipping away because a lot of the voters, not the powers that be, they don't really give a crap. Is the white men, angry white men on the Republican side, do not want to see a Democrat anyhow, but they most definitely don't want to see a woman. And you have the same thing on a lot of it, not all, but some of you Bernie Sanders supporters are fighting against a woman in power. And I think that is one of the saddest things. We have the second young lady that's coming in. She was a little bit, okay, so I'm still on camera here? Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. I thought maybe the young lady was on camera. We had a little bit of movement in here. And Jarvis, thank you for taking care of that. I mean, hey, look, didn't skip a beat. Anyway, but so with my belief and my research and seeing that so much of the battle out here in this politics game today, in this election, is the fear of a woman being in power on both the Republican side, and I'm going to say it again, many of the Bernie Sanders group, even in Vegas, when doing this little thing that happened in Vegas over the weekend, it wasn't a bunch of men on stage here, guys. You guys was booing and yelling and screaming, and I don't know that you were throwing chairs. I didn't see a chair thrown. People say I'm not going to get into that, what I can't prove, but I heard the voicemail, the voice messages that was left. I saw some of the emails, and what was strange about it, you didn't talk about her politics on those emails. You talked about her being a female, calling her a B word. I'll call it what it is. You was calling her a bitch. You were calling her the whore. I mean, come on, guys. This is supposed to be Bernie Sanders liberal-minded, and this is how you treat our female politicians. I don't get it, but I think we need to calm down, cool down, take a drink. It's legal, like I said. Marijuana is legal. Go to your doctor, get a shot, whatever. Get something, but chill out. And let's come together and beat this Trump machine because they're coming after us. Believe me, don't take it lightly, folks. There's some excitement and money coming behind Donald Trump. Now, what I want to do, we have this play today, and I think this is going to tie in. And I didn't get to talk to this young lady first, but just reading body language and eyes, and I got a feeling this is going to tie into what I just said. Not saying that they agree with me or not, but I think it's going to tie into some of what they want to say about this play. Complexion of a woman.
Complexion woman.
Complexion woman. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to start with Tasha, right?
Yes, Tasha.
Tasha. And would you introduce everybody else, Tasha?
Okay, my name is Tasha Henderson. I am the writer-producer of Complexion Woman. To my left is Melissa Effa.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
She's one of our gorgeous castmates.
Thank you.
Cast members. And then we have Ebony Gilbert, who is also co-writer and director of Complexion Woman.
Hello.
Well, welcome, Ebony.
Thank you all.
And Melissa and Tasha. Now, here, look, now let's start off with this. I have to put this out there. I will butcher up your name. Yeah. If I mispronounce your name, and you could say, well, call me S or call me L, I would mess L up. I mean, no, I'm from Mississippi. I have a right to do that.
You'd be surprised. I'm used to people messing up. They call me Tosha.
Oh, God.
That's not how it works.
It's so simple.
So how is everybody?
Great. So excited to be here.
I know. I'm
thank
excited
you.
to be among such beauty. Hey, I'm sitting around all these beautiful women. I'm feeling really, really good. I'm really, really good. Hey, look here. Why don't we do this? Tell us about you. You, the writer.
Tasha, yes.
Tell us a little bit about this show.
So Complexion Woman is basically about the experiences that we as Black women experience in 2016. The play covers a wide range of issues from your hair. What are you going to do with your hair? You're going to color it, dye it, straighten it, curl it, natural,
Yes.
relax it. To things like issues like depression within the Black community. It's something that mental health issues in general are something that are kind of looked over or kind of avoided in the Black community. So we like to address those things. And there's fun things as well, like dating, what it's like to date in 2016, what it means, what femininity means and what womanhood means from the male perspective and from the female perspective in 2016. And Ebony and I both each wrote 4 vignettes, so a total of 8 short one-acts that make up the play.
So how did you guys meet?
We actually went to LMU, Loyola Marymount University.
Yes.
We were in their graduate MFA program
Oh,
3 years ago.
I got some educated women in here. But no, LMU, huh?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And you are from?
I'm from Dallas. I'm from Texas. I know I don't have an accent. That's what everyone always says.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that from Texas. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm from the good part of Texas.
And so Melissa,
Yes.
and you're from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
From Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes,
Go.
ATL.
I spent a lot of time in Atlanta. And Ebony, where are you from?
I am from Miami, Florida.
Oh,
Yes.
Miami, Florida, she say. So how did you get mixed up in this entertainment world?
Well, I'm from Miami, Florida, but I grew up in a community called Little Haiti. And there I was surrounded around a lot of drugs and poverty. And from a very young
Speak
age,
up just a little bit.
from a very young age, I developed this consciousness that I knew that, we have a lot of marginalized people and their stories aren't being told. So I took on the responsibility to tell our stories. So I decided to pursue a career in film and television because I realized that everyone's not going to read a book and everyone's not going to attend these academic forums, but everyone will watch film and television. Mm-hmm. So with that platform, I figured that I would be able to reach a greater audience and to really tell our stories, marginalized people, women of color, women. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's my responsibility. That's my goal. I always say that I am an activist hiding behind the title writer.
Oh, I love that. So Melissa, how did you get involved in this entertainment world?
Well, I've been acting or pursuing acting since I was 13 in Atlanta, but I also went to LMU for film
really?
production, but undergrad. And I just wanted to get like the full education, kind of put acting on hold, but then just got the bug again. So I also want to tell stories about Black women because that's not something that is obviously seen today in our media or just, storytelling stories in general. So when I got to audition for this project, I was like, I have to be in this. I have to be in this, because I think it's important, and I think it's going to shine a lot of light and change a lot of people's perspectives.
So, Tasha, what are we going to get out of this show when we go and see this show?
You're going to get laughter. You're going to get drama. You're going to get some in between. You'll get everything. We have a musical number. We have a few monologues and a spoken word poem.
Okay.
We have everything for everyone. We really wanted the show to reach out to everyone, not just women in the Black community, but we wanted Asian women to see this and be like, I can identify with that. We wanted white women to see this and be like, I can identify with that. We wanted all issues to be represented.
Right.
And what's important is that we want to show that Black women are all different. We're all diverse. And we go through the same issues as women of different races. Right. That's something that was very important to Ebony and I when we got together to write the story. We were like I said, we both went through the same MFA program, and there was a lot of, since we were the only 2 Black females in our class of 12, there was always like, okay, we have an opinion on Black Lives Matter. And it was always, I mean, they probably have the same opinion on that, but it was things like that where it was like they would go to me and Ebony, and if we didn't have the same opinion on something, it'd be like, oh, well, why don't you have the same opinion? You're both Black. But it's like other people in the class could have an array of opinions, but Ebony and I had to have the same one.
Right.
That's just not how the world works.
Yes.
And you don't have the same opinion? My God.
I know.
Well, show is over. No, just kidding. Anybody else want to speak on that?
Yeah, I think Tasha really touched on it. I think overall the play is really a conversation. We want to entertain you, but we also want to enlighten you. On your way back home, we want you guys to talk about these issues. Talk about the lack of diversity in Hollywood. Talk about how people date through Tinder and Snapchat instead of the old-fashioned way. So we really believe in sparking discourse because we feel like that's the first step towards change.
What is the Black man gonna get when he's sitting in the audience? Am I gonna be beat up on? Let's put the rubber where the, as they say in the South. I got a good friend of mine, not a good friend of mine. I know him, but I watch another radio show host, Joe Madison, and I love Joe Madison, and he says, let's put it where the goat's gonna get it. That means low to the ground. But me as an African American male, and I'm sitting in the audience, am I gonna feel beat up on?
No.
Wait a minute, you guys said that awfully. Jarvis, they said that awfully quick here now. It was like, wait a minute. It was like, I thought you guys didn't think alike. But you sing that in harmony, I mean, at the same time, at the same beat. But no, now tell me as an African American male, how am I going to feel sitting in the audience?
I feel like you're going to feel uplifted. These are stories about Black women, but I feel like as Black women, we love to uplift Black men in the Black community. And there's a lot of, we don't bash men, Black men. I feel like in the play, there's a lot of uplifting. There's actually a lot of talk about men in the play in a positive light and how they shape our lives and how they shape how we view ourselves. For good and for bad.
Right, because we're all integrated. Yeah. And although this is about the experiences of women, it's all in connection to males and men of color and white women and Asian people. We're all together. Although this is a marginalized group, but what we're trying to show is the universal connection to everyone in different walks of life.
So Melissa, what role you play in this?
I play a couple different roles.
Ooh, I play a couple different roles. You go, girl. I bet you do, too.
Well, I play one role called the Wig Lady. That's one of my favorites. She is this confident Black woman who's very educated, but also very layered. She's, has a come up. She's, trying to marry a producer and get her album out like Tamar Braxton. And but for me, this role was so enlightening for me because I kind of came into it having one perspective, being like, oh, she likes to have different wigs on and stuff, so she must be trying to cover up insecurity. But just in kind of really spending time with it, it's just showing how confident she is with wearing these different hairstyles and just being layered as a woman, as a Black woman. So I feel like for me, it just kind of even changed my perspective about myself and being like, I can wear different hairstyles and I can be ratchet and be educated. And that doesn't make me any less of a Black woman in any way. So.
It's fascinating that you guys bring that up because I was listening to somebody. I don't even know where it came from, but one of the ladies said that I personally have never worked inside corporate America. I've been hired as an independent outside, so I didn't go to the office every day. And I heard a sister say that when she went to work with her hair straight, there was a little bit of okay, you okay, you okay. But then when she decided to wear her hair natural, then when a black woman wears her hair naturally, then it becomes radical. You're making this
Right.
protest.
Right.
And do you find that to be truthful?
He's so truthful. And the piece that Melissa was referring to is entitled Damaged. And is talking about hair and our experiences, whether we are at work or at school, and how we're judged by our hairstyles and how we're automatically linked to a political ideology or a perspective. And I think that our hair is just an extension of ourselves, and we can change that however we choose to. So that piece is very bold in addressing those issues.
Well, the thing about it, black hair is really the only hair that you can actually
Exactly. And we
yeah,
say
you can
that too.
sculpt it. You can mold it into whatever you decide to.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of cultures where we have been intimidated, being taught and programmed that it was bad hair and good hair.
Right, exactly.
And so because we was programmed with bad hair, good hair, and we know the story of which one is bad hair and we know which one is good hair.
Right.
But then you find out the so-called good hair has a lot of problems in sculpting it, and you can't do you can't do as much with that as you can with the so-called bad hair. And I think once again I'm being repetitive here. I think a lot of the times what we didn't realize doing this programming of us that a lot of people was not just intimidated but jealous the fact that you could do so much with your
And
hair.
we're seeing that now with all the people who are changing their hairs to the
Yes.
styles that were traditionally related to us, and
Right.
now they're rocking it.
Yes. And
Yeah.
we say that at the play, guys.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be the hot new trend, but it's like,
Right.
no, we've been doing that for
For,
years.
for years, for a very long time.
And I in being honest with it, I've seen, in fact, seeing a white guy with a white person with dreadlocks. And I've actually seen some white people wearing some cold-blooded dreadlocks. I mean, they're like, bang, whoa, wow, this stuff is looking good. So
Right.
I was at the point when I was younger, you guys' age, I would sit back and say, they're copying us, they're taking this, taking that.
Right.
But then, sometimes that's a form of flattery.
Right,
Of course,
right,
yeah.
right.
You know what I mean? So instead of looking at the negative of it and
Right.
because we are so quick to say, well, they're taking this away from us. They're
Right.
taking the blues away from us. They're taking this. Nobody's taking anything from you. You may not be
Right.
participating in it, like go out and vote. But anyway.
Right.
But go ahead. What would you have to say about that?
Yeah, and we addressed that, and I think that we don't have an issue with adopting styles. I think that that's beautiful, and I think that we should do that. But I think it's about glamorizing only a certain group of people who's wearing those styles and not another group of people. I think that's what is one point of view in that piece. And there's a lot of point of views. Like, for example, you can't assume something about me because I'm wearing blonde hair this week. Because next week I may wear something else. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think for me, this kind of also brings down the play in general, brings down stigmas that Black people have within our own community.
Right.
Because I think when you're growing up in America and the society as a Black female or a Black male, you have to sometimes assimilate to kind of like get by. So like we mentioned, like straightening your hair in the corporate office. So if you come in with a natural hair, they assume things of you. So as Black people, we kind of like think that way too. So I feel like this piece and throughout the whole play, it will enlighten people of our own community too, to be like, oh, like, okay, so I can wear my hair all types of ways. Like even me, I went natural. So I used to judge people who weren't natural. Like I used to be like, why aren't you natural yet? Like, don't you know, like wearing a perm is going to mess up your hair? But it's empowering to wear your hair in any type of way. Like we shouldn't like be so against each other.
It's about having the choice.
Right.
I think, again, like we were talking about, other races, other women have the choice to change their hair any kind of way. And
Right.
again, like we were saying, we're just reiterating the point. If we change our hair, it's a political statement. If we do
Right.
this to our hair, but it's like I'm not natural. I wear a relaxer, and I'm not ashamed about it. And,
Don't be ashamed,
Oh,
girl.
no, should you be?
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's like having that choice. It's having the
Right.
choice to say, you know what, I want to relax my hair, not because of the things that I've seen or how I'm afraid my white boss is going to think of me or how I'm
Right.
afraid my sister is going to think of me. It's just how I like to wear my hair.
Exactly.
But then, a lot of it does come from programming, but then a lot of it comes from you saw different opportunities. You really did. You saw opportunities, and I remember when the Afro, because I'm a little bit older than you guys, I remember when it was the Afro. And Afro at the time with the black exploitation movies and the whole bit, the Afro represented the rebellious, strong black man and woman. And then what they did was they tricked us and they put this Superfly guy on us. So then they brought the pimps in the late 60s when they started to do the conch and they would do the lie and use potatoes and stuff to straighten the hair. You looking at me with
I'm learning.
and so it was called a conch. It was called a gas when the guys would slick their hair down, and it started in the 60s, but in the 70s. After the Superfly movies, and then you saw all of the pimps coming in, so everybody wanted their hair straightened, and I myself. Then you had after the 70s, and here's what happened: right after the 70s was over, all of us was wearing straight hair and perms. Then, bam, Jerry curls came in. The most horrific hairdo. Oh my God! I wore a Jerry curl. I would get it done and then dry it all off, and oh my God, the wet. It was just a horrible thing, and so now I'm seeing now slowly the trend where African Americans is like, okay, if I want to wear my hair naturally, boom, they're doing it. They want to wear the perm, boom, they're doing it. I think it's all good.
Yeah. That's how we feel.
Go ahead. You wanted to say something there?
Oh no, I was saying that we feel that way as well. About just having the choice.
So
and
what
embracing
does
everything.
what does the play address when it comes to politics? I opened up the show talking about the Hillary Clinton and what I thought is happening in the voting race here this time, where I see, from my view, I think a lot of it is being attacked because you have this woman that really have the first shot at being the first female president of the United States. So do you have any opinions on that?
Yeah. So what you were talking about earlier in your show about the thing that happened in Vegas, and you said like you read through the emails, and they weren't attacking her because of her political views. They were attacking her because she is a woman. And I agree. I feel like there's a lot, especially with the Hillary campaign. There's a lot of, well, we just can't have a woman president. Fortunately, there's been a lot. I've noticed there's been, not a lot, but there's been less than when she first ran in 2008. But there's still but there's still a lot of, well, she can't be a president because she's a woman, because women think like this. Women are irrational. And it's like, wait a minute, what is that?
Right.
We have the same brains that men have. You know what I mean? Right. We work in the same way. And I think there's a lot of that within the play. Again, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of great about men, but then there's some of the bad where
Okay, well, let me ask you guys a question. Now, this is your boy from Mississippi. If I ask a question that is crazy, guess what? Fire me. But what is this little bit of thing that women judge each other so harshly? I think women judge each other harder than men judge men. And I can give you, so okay, don't jump on Larry now. So I know I'm going to get the email, but
I'm drafting it now.
Men will not vote for a woman or work with another man because he didn't hold his mouth right or didn't like the dress that or the pair of pants he wore to work that day. But what is this? Is it competition? Or am I off here?
No, I think what the positive thing about Ebony and I and Melissa as well is that I think that's something that I went to Oklahoma State University for undergrad, and so there's not a lot of women, and there's not a lot of Black women, and so there's always this idea that there can only be one of us, you know what I mean? And unfortunately that exists, and I think it's just something that evolves over time where you think, okay, there's this one, look, like, for example, Beyonce and Rihanna.
Right.
Beyonce put or Rihanna put out her album, and then Beyonce puts out hers, and it's supposed to be Beyonce throwing shade at Rihanna. But it's like, why can't both these women put out their album and just it'd be positive? Right. There's a lot of this, like, breeding within women that thinks, well, if there can only be one of you that succeeds. And it's like, no. And I think we as women get caught up in that. We see, there's only this limited amount of men on campus, or there's only there are only these limited amount of jobs. And so we get caught up in that and think, I can't let her win, so I have to put her down. Right. But I think, again, like I said, the positive of this play and the positivity that Ebony and I tried to evoke in this is that that's not true. We can all make it. I am Ebony's biggest cheerleader. When she does something, I'm like, oh, hey, I know her.
Here. Right. Yeah. And in the program, like Tasha explained, there were only 11 students. And Tasha and I weren't competitors. We were the, tightest amongst everyone. So we really found a bond and a sisterhood. But that's not the case for everyone, and I do realize what you're saying. But for us, we believe in coming together, because together we understand that we are stronger. Yeah, and we can, have a bigger impact.
There's very few times that I can say that other racial group have some identity with our struggles. But when it comes down to power, women really of all race at some point have the same struggles as African Americans as a whole, because women get typecast. You that glass ceiling is thrown on you, and glass ceiling are thrown on us as African Americans anyhow. But because of Barack Obama, we have broken that glass ceiling. Tell me. What would be the common thread for all women in this play? If the Asian lady is there and the white lady is there, and what is that common thread that they will all get out of this?
We all have issues, so we all go through it. We all go through it.
I am not going to touch that. Jarvis, don't kick me under the table trying to. I'm not going to say all women have issues at all. I'm not. No. I'm not going to. No, I'm just kidding. Because I'm totally messed up in the head. So, but really, do you have an example of something that an Asian woman may not know she have in common with an African American woman?
They both look at me. Dating.
I was going to say Dating Now.
There's a piece in the play called Dating Now, and it's basically all about the struggles of what it's like to date in 2016. All the different apps like Tinder, Bumble, Mumble. There's just so many different apps, and there's so many different ways for men to reject you, to like you, or however. And it's about those complications that it doesn't matter your race. It's just like dating,
Right.
What is dating like in
hard?
2016? I'm glad I'm not out there, man. I'm telling you, I'm just glad I'm not out there. Yeah. So what is so hard about dating? I mean, now, I'm an old man now, so I want to know what's so hard about dating in 2016.
Well, everything is just like all technology. So people don't, I can just say in Los Angeles, guys don't come up to me in Los Angeles. It's all like people just like to communicate through texting or, through all these dating apps. So it's just, it's hard.
There's so many different ways now. It's so easy. The pool is so big for guys, or for not guys, people in general, that it's like, okay, I meet Melissa and I don't like her lip color. I'm going to go to Ebony now because I can just swipe left and talk to her.
Right.
Well, do you find that now that it's just easier for people to hide behind texting?
Exactly.
And they can say things that they... Well, one of the things that happens, being like me, growing up as shy and innocent as I was, I wished I had the ability to text and I told a story here a couple of weeks ago about me sending a letter and chasing the letter because I changed my mind. I didn't want to break up, and I'm trying to chase the mailman. And,
Oh God.
but anyway, with text messaging and stuff, no, I'd have been in a world of trouble because I would have had no filters at all. You guys grew up with filters and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
how does your family feel about this?
Well, my mom and Tasha's mom is very supportive. Although this is our story, our generation, but there are people who can still come to the play and find something to connect to.
Is there a website?
Yes. So if you would like to buy tickets and get more information about the play, you can actually go to hollywoodfringe.org/projects/3573.
Do it kind of slow on air.
hollywoodfringe.org/projects/3573.
Is there a phone number?
There is no phone number.
Okay.
But you can get all the
See?
information there.
There
And we have
go.
a Facebook page.
And an Instagram.
Yes.
Oh, well, tell us about it. Let everybody know.
Yeah, you can follow us on our Facebook page, and it's Complexion Woman, and our Instagram is complex_ION on Instagram. So
See?
follow us. You can get updates.
Like us.
Yes.
Buy tickets.
Yeah, buy tickets, and because all proceeds are going to Black Women for Wellness, and it's an organization that's supporting women of color and educating women, and so all proceeds will go there. So support that organization as well.
So now, is there other skills that you have that you're working with other than playwriting?
I'm actually acting in the play as well. I grew up doing theater, and so acting is something else that I love. So I'm going to be in a couple of parts. Actually, Melissa and I kind of split up one part, depending on the night that you buy tickets and go.
Or you can just come to all of them.
Or you can come to all four. That'd be
Everybody,
great too.
yeah.
Yes.
Wow, you guys got the floor here. I'm really excited about this. I'm hoping to get to see it. Now, when is the play?
So there are 4 dates. The premiere date, which is our preview date, is June 5th at 1 p.m. We have a show Saturday, June 11th at 9:30 p.m. We have another show Friday, June 17th at 7:30 p.m. And our final show is Saturday, June 25th at 6 p.m.
Wow. And this is going to be where?
It's going to be, so it's for Hollywood Fringe Festival, and it's going to be at the Asylum Theater, 6470, and the address is 6470 Santa Monica Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90038. And when you buy tickets, you can, of course, buy them online. Tickets will be sold at the door on the day of the show.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Melissa, let me ask you. So you are more acting right now
In this play?
in this play.
Yes, yes.
So what Melissa the little girl. So I love asking people this question. Melissa the little girl. What made you want to get into the acting?
I just always was like performing in front of people. Like my mom would make me like I would do something at home. One time my dog passed away, my puppy, and we were all so sad in the house. And then I just started singing James Brown, I Feel Good. And everybody in the house was laughing. So my mom made me like do it in front of her coworkers again and again and again. And I would always, I'm half Nigerian and half Bahamian, but because I was half Nigerian, I just like started like learning how to have that accent. So at school, I would always like tell, stories in my Nigerian accent and make everybody laugh. So it wasn't like a decision, like I'm an actress. It was like I was always performing. So it just kind of like happened.
Do you remember the name of the little dog?
Annie.
Annie. Oh.
Yeah, she was a trooper. Yeah.
Oh. Any sisters and brothers?
I'm an only child.
What about the
My mom's
rest?
only child.
I have half brothers and sisters. I have an older half brother and an older half sister and a younger sister.
And I have a younger brother.
You have a younger brother?
Yes, I'm the oldest.
So how did you, what answer this, what made you, led you into the writing and producing?
Well, for me, I don't think I had an opportunity to choose what I wanted to be growing up. At school, my teachers would tell me, you're going to be a writer. You're going to be a writer. So I was like given this title, and it's something that I really embrace. I love writing. I'm actually really shy, but in my writing, I find that I
Did
can
you
be.
guys hear that?
I'm surprised.
I'm looking at.
That's the
She
truth.
says she's shy. No, I that's my job. That's my job.
She's complex.
Tell me a little bit about what is a challenge now with. I get the part about finding what is a challenge African American women are going through now that is, let's say, maybe a little slower changing than we would expect.
Well, I don't know. I feel like, especially in this year, there's just been so much like empowerment, it seems like, when it comes to like people standing up for Black women. So like, because someone was asking me this the other day, and I was like, I can't really think of like what, obviously we're struggling in different areas, but I feel like the fact that we have the opportunity to, or I have the opportunity to be in a play that is being led by 2 Black women, and just being in a world where we can now share our voices, it means like change is happening. So even though there are struggles, like, and maybe I feel like that works to our advantage. I feel like almost that's like Black privilege because of the challenges
I
that
like
we
that.
face. We have to just like be more creative and just more. It's like kind of what an actor was talking about the Oscars and how like obviously like there were no people of color, but I feel like it works to our advantage because it's like, okay, you don't see us, we're gonna be over here working our stuff, and you guys are gonna come to us. Like Hollywood will come to us, basically.
And you have an opinion on that?
No, I'm just basically agreeing with what she says. I especially what you said about like the whole thing with what happened at the Oscars and how now they're looking for us. Now they got all of that backlash, and they're looking not just for Black women but for people of color in general. They want to tell our stories, and they want to tell our stories uniquely, not just tell the same story every week, or for the movie of the week, this is this part of the hood, and then the next part of the hood. We all grew up in different backgrounds, and I think that I agree. I think that it's working to our advantage now that we're saying, okay, we can take this and say, okay, you're not looking for us, but here, this is what we got, and here you go.
The thing that I have seen, and when you guys have to watch my show from this point on. Now that you've been here, you got to promote my show. You got to tell everybody. But I end really from day one. I end this show that a nation can rise no higher than it elevates its woman. I grew up in the South, and that's and my age is a little bit different. Not a lot, but a little bit different. But I actually see such powerful changes, and one of the things now that I tell all young African Americans and people of color, now it's not so much of has things changed, but I suggest 2 things. Number 1, realize that it has, and what are you going to do with it?
Exactly.
What are you going to do with it?
Exactly.
Because many people fought and died for this point. But the problem is you have to see it. If you continue to let someone sell you I won't call any so-called Black leaders' name because I all of them play their part and all of them are very important. But don't let people start becoming the pain merchant for you because it's very easy to sell pain. And when you listen to Black shows and Black radio, Black talk shows, very rarely do you see one talk about the growth.
Right. Right.
Very rarely. It's because the media and money is in selling pain and suffering and sorrow.
Right.
So it's up to us, this generation of those that can see that it is a big change has happened to us, that we are we're in the best position that we've ever been in.
Right.
But there's so many of us now, and I like that. Even so many of us cramming to get it. I mean, I see the fight now. I remember a point when people was laying back, well, there's no need of me trying. because the man is against me, this is against me, that is against me. Social media, technology is beginning to level the playing field. Now, the most important thing is to be able to see that, wait a minute, there are opportunities. Like you just said, whichever one of you just said. Be excellent in what you're doing.
Right.
They'll find you.
Right.
You know what I mean? They will find you.
Right.
How have people been responding to what you guys are doing?
I mean, we've been blessed
Yes.
from day one. We there are a number of things that cost a lot. You know, Ebony and I and Melissa, we all just graduated
Yes.
and have student debt. So there's a lot.
That's the fun part.
Yeah,
Amen.
exactly. The best part of graduating. And there's a lot of people that have donated free stuff. We got free rehearsal space. We've gotten free props. We've gotten people willingly read our show.
Yeah.
All of our friends are. I had one of my short sisters bought 4 tickets to the show. She's only one person, doesn't
Right.
barely knows anyone out here. Bought 4 tickets to the show just so
Yes.
she could help and donate.
Right.
There's just been so much just things that we wouldn't have gotten for free that we needed. And Ebony are always like, how are we gonna come up with the money for this? And someone always provides. Being able to come on this show and
Right.
speak.
Yeah.
Well, now we'll get into something here.
Yes.
This has really been great. We're coming to about the end of the show, and I tell you, I'm hoping to be in town at that time to see to get to see the show. But I think you just beautiful ladies. I'm sitting here, and yes, I'm sitting with a bunch of beautiful women. I am. I'm feeling good here today, and to see you put your heart in this and see your passion and see the love that you have for what you do. And Melissa, I just so thank you for being here with me, and I'm getting the names right, Tasha and Ebony. I'm just kidding. Ebony. What do we get? What are we looking at as far as time, Jarvis? 2 minutes. Anything else you want to say about the show? First, let's give it out again. Where's the show?
The show will be at the Theater Asylum, Theater 6470. Our show dates are Sunday, June 5th, 1 p.m., Saturday, June 11th, 9:30 p.m., Friday, June 17th, 7:30 p.m., Saturday, June 25th at 6 p.m. You can get your tickets. They're $10. And again, all proceeds go to Black Women for Wellness. They're $10. You can get them at hollywoodfringe.org/projects/3573.
Tell me a little bit about Black Women for Wellness, real quick.
Yeah, so Black Women for Wellness is an organization that's dedicated to healing and educating Black women, and they run a lot of different programs. They have a cooking class, they have financial classes geared towards Black women and educating them and uplifting them within the community. They actually have a fundraiser going on. I believe they're trying to raise $3,000. And they're I think only a little bit halfway to their goal, and so we're just trying to help them out and try to get them to reach their full goal so they can put on a program.
Okay. Look here, before we go, I'd like to go around the table and just give us words of wisdom as short as you possibly can. As we know, everyone is going to have to do this. So just a quick words of wisdom from you, Tasha, as we close the show.
Always stay positive, and I strongly believe that it'll always work out in the end, so stay positive.
Melissa?
Yeah, I would just say keep your eyes on the sun, same in keeping positive, and everything will work out for your good.
Yes, we end the show on a piece called Black Girl Magic, and I think that's a great place to end the show. And it's showing that through all of your challenges, you can still find a way to come out on top. So that's how we want our audience to feel.
I really appreciate that. You know, and I say this, you know, everything that the universe has given us has been represented within a woman, whether our ability to learn, to be educated, to be comforted. In fact, even the language itself came from the creation of women, and math itself came from the creation of women. And I think what you young people are doing is just a beautiful story that has been told, is being told, and you are the future. And continue to do what you're doing. Remember, a nation can rise no higher than it elevates its woman. See you next week.
That was beautiful. Thank you.